Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my precious pack. Glad to have you joining me once again for yet another World of Tanks video. This one is actually underwhelming in every single regard because it's not an overpowered tank, but it's not an underpowered tank, and it is in an ideal situation. And that is the fact that there's a bunch of lower tier tanks to just club away at. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up and making this video is because this is going to be the vocal you're going to be seeing on the channel a lot more after today, because it's one of my favorite tanks, and the fact that I haven't been playing it much is kind of an insult to myself, so yeah. I'm going to be playing it more often, and I'm going to try and get myself into some better situations where I can actually make use of the magazines, and one of the things I love to do in this tank is hit and run. Literally dump an entire magazine and then leave an area completely and just appear someplace else, someplace where you're most likely not going to be expected to just randomly show up into the fight. So, situations where the enemy is outnumbering your team and all of a sudden you just pop up on the flank or something like that, or load a high explosive magazine and just troll someone away out of existence because balance reasons. But in all actuality, the tank, it's enjoyable for the most part. And I mean, no matter how many times I'll lose in it compared to other vehicles, the other tanks, I will not get angry with it. I will not get annoyed. It's just an entertaining little tank to drive around, and I do mean emphasis on little. There are more light tanks that are larger than it. Tanks where basically everything is larger than the Emil and the Emil 1951. With the exception of very, very low tier vehicles, but I mean, you don't count them at the high tiers. Naturally, there are a few vehicles that are shorter, but in terms of actual size, I mean, the Emil is small. By all intents and purposes, it's a small vehicle, no matter how you see it. But don't let the size fool you, because some little 105 that it's packing, with the 3-round magazine that it can empty in 5.5 seconds, well, it can hurt you pretty bad, as you're going to see here fairly soon, because you remember that lurver that was literally just parked right off to the right in front of me, along with that Super Hellcat? Yeah, he's having a very good time right now. And you know what I have to do? I have to fix that. I have to ruin his day. And I do exactly that once he gets detected again, because right now I'm waiting to see if I can spot the E25 and nail it again. Well, nail it for the first time because I want a little bit more damage, but I didn't spot it soon enough. However, the lurver is getting a little bit aggressive and pushing forwards, and he takes a hit from an ally. Takes him down to near clippable potential, so 1. I think I could shoot the Hellcat there, so I aim down, but I mean, I go right back to the lurver. And this is what I love about magazine-fed tanks. Just the quick damage output burst, and then you just kind of go around and do whatever you want. And this is where I normally reposition. That's exactly what I do. However, I didn't do it as frequently as I normally do. Normally I'll dump a magazine, and on the last shot, I'm already falling back to move to someplace else. And normally I don't fight on the same flank for more than one magazine, and I'll just constantly switch flanks. So there's always going to be an output of fire from me somewhere or another once every 30-ish seconds. And this is just poor gun handling and me not knowing how to aim right there. And the reason I took that shot, I wanted to try and break his track, because he just used his repair kit to fix the track in the first place. So if I could have broken the track a second time, theoretically the Yak Panther that's behind us would have been able to actually start firing at him again, provided he had a clear line of sight. That's not what happened, and I started reloading because I wasn't expecting him to do this. I mean, seriously, who does that? I mean, really? You just reversed out in front of 2, 3, 4 vehicles, and you got hit by one of them already. And that was RNG just not approving. That was me being poor with the weapon. And I start to hold this last round because I'm thinking, well, is he going to poke again? Am I going to get a chance to take another shot? Yes. But I fluffed that one too, because why not? However, I'm not done doing damage, not yet. Not even close. You see that Yag Panther right there? He looks like he's having a good game. Let's go change that too. All because I got up into the middle of the map. And there's multiple places on different maps where I love to take the Emil where you can make full use of the 12 degrees of gun depression, the thick turret, and you can more or less outpace even tier 10 vehicles, which is another thing that I love to do, is just mess around with the tier 10s, because empty an entire magazine into a tier 10 and then reposition, the tier 10 is now suddenly triggered for a very, very good reason. You basically just took off either half the health or a third of their health in the case of the mouse, and you suddenly just disappeared. You're nowhere to be found again. So all they know is, oh hey, he just dumped an entire magazine and he's gone, so now someone else has to worry about him. And that's exactly what happens. And I was waiting because I was thinking I'd be able to get a shot, but I knew I wouldn't be able to after sitting around for too long. So what do? Well, I think I'll charge the hill. And then I realized that the M6 is to the right, and I could go help the lurver on my team out. Now, the reload is irrelevant for me, because one thing I do know, since he's fighting the lurver, his attention is going to be fully drawn to said lurver. So I can do this. And they start to rush the lurver, and that's where it all goes wrong for them, because not a single one of my rounds bounce right here. And that's basically the end of the game, just like that, because I don't get any more damage done. And this is the first shot I take right here, because I wasn't expecting the Ferdinand to be looking in my direction. But that's it. That's the end of the fight, just like that, because I don't get any more damage. Hope you enjoyed it, my pack. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Be safe out there, my pack. Happy hunting, and as always, I'll see you later.